Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Rio Ferdinand now says Bukayo Saka really enhanced his reputation at the World Cup. The World Cup is nearly over, and most of Arsenal players have returned to training. The Premier League restart is 2 weeks away, and Mikel Arteta's side currently have a 5-point lead. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Rio Ferdinand has been singing Bukayo Saka's reputation. Ferdinand admitted he'd been seriously impressed with Saka in Qatar though, and had seriously enhanced his reputation. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Ferdinand said, I think when you go into a tournament as a player, you want at least one of two things. Firstly, you want to win the tournament, and secondly, you want to come out of this tournament with your reputation enhanced. And I think Declan Rice can do that. He didn't win it, but he enhanced his reputation. Jude Bellingham, obviously. Saka definitely has done the same. After Jesus' injury, Saka's importance at Arsenal has increased even further as the domestic season nears its resumption. Jamie Redknapp admitted he was really impressed with Saka's performance and couldn't understand why he was substituted. Saka ended the World Cup as England's joint top scorer, adding to the 11 goal involvements he's had at Arsenal this season. Arteta will have to decide how much rest Saka now needs before returning to training. Mikel Arteta may be glad that he now has the luxury of giving Saka a break before the Premier League restarts. Had England gone any further, Saka's availability wouldn't have been guaranteed for their Boxing Day clash with West Ham. Arsenal striker Edin Kata has been working hard to fill in for Jesus. Arsenal's Brazilian striker Gabriel Jesus has undergone surgery after suffering a serious injury at the FIFA World Cup tournament in Qatar, as has been much reported, but with their star striker out of action for the medium term around 3 months, Mikel Arteta obviously has options to consider. Edin Kata is desperate for the opportunity to impress in the centre-forward role, as he told Goal the following, Of course, it's an opportunity for myself. These things happen in football, unfortunately, so you have just got to be ready for the moment when it comes. I have been working hard. I have been working hard all season, and I am sure when I get the opportunity, I will be able to come in and help the team. An Arsenal player from the age of 16, 23-year-old Nketiah scored 24 goals in both of his first 2 seasons in the Gunners' youth squad, then was moved up to the first team at the age of 18, with Arsenal saying he is fast, hard-working with fantastic movement. Nketiah has featured in 19 games for Arsenal this season so far and been in the starting 11 for all of Arsenal's Europa League and Carabao Cup matches, while coming on as a substitute on 12 occasions in the Premier League. He has notched up 3 goals and an assist in the cup competitions, but is yet to get going in the league this season. Could this be his golden opportunity? It will be interesting to see what Arteta does as Arsenal gear up for a return to Premier League action in the coming weeks. Fabrizio Romano has an update for Arsenal fans about Memphis Depay. Fabrizio Romano has offered an update on Memphis Depay after reports over the weekend linked the Dutchman with a move to Arsenal. The Gunners are thought to be in the mix for a new striker. It comes as Gabriel Jesus is expected to miss a period of time with injury. The Brazilian has picked up a knee injury and has since undergone surgery, meaning a few months out could well be in the offing. With that in mind, this weekend has seen Toto Juve link Arsenal with a move for Memphis Depay. The Barcelona forward has had a bit of a torrid time in Spain. His form has not hit the heights he showed with Lyon, and he is expected to be on the move in January. However, Fabrizio Romano has been speaking on the situation and claimed that, as of now, Depay will remain in Barcelona unless they decide to sell him. Fabrizio told Cout Offside the following, At the moment, there are no negotiations ongoing between Depay and any other club. It could be a great opportunity for many clubs, for sure, but Barca have to decide if they want to sell Memphis or not. Depay enjoyed a good World Cup with the Netherlands, but came up short as Argentina beat them on penalties. Depay is simply not at the same level as Jesus, and given how poor he was with Man United, question marks remain over his ability in England. Of course, He has a fine record for Holland. He's scored plenty of goals in big games as well. For Lyon too, he was excellent, but Arsenal need guaranteed quality, and while Depay has his moments, signing him permanently would seem a bit overzealous from the Gunners. Arsenal said to be keen on Wilfried Zaha. Arsenal still hold an interest in signing Crystal Palace winger Wilfried Zaha, according to fresh reports this weekend. Team Talk makes the claim, quoting journalist Graham Bailey in saying that both Arsenal and Chelsea hold significant interest in Zaha, albeit he isn't a priority signing as things stand. Zaha has long been of interest to Arsenal. His form with the Crystal Palace over multiple seasons has seen a host of suitors emerge, with Arsenal among them. Indeed, it was only back in October that a potential move by the Gunners was again being touted, and according to Team Talk and Bailey, that interest is indeed still there a few months on. Arsenal are known to be in the hunt to sign a new wide or forward player, and with Gabriel Jesus' injury posing even more of a problem for Mikel Arteta, Zaha's appeal will be bigger than ever for the Spanish manager. Arteta is a big admirer of Zaha and even branded the Palace star phenomenal not so long ago, and given the current circumstances at the Emirates, Arteta would surely like to see Zaha on board if he could. Zaha was once valued by Palace at around £80 million, but that price tag is now considerably lower given his age and contract status. It really does feel like now or never for Zaha when it comes to Champions League football. He has been so good for Palace over the years, you almost feel he deserves his chance, but then again, that ship might have sailed as well now. Really, if Zaha is going to play at the very top then, January is his time to move. It would be hard for him to leave Palace in the winter window, but time is of the essence and Zaha might not have many more chances. If Arsenal do come knocking, then you'd have to say Zaha would be silly not to push for a move. Arsenal joined Man United in race to sign Joao Felix. Arsenal have entered the bidding with Manchester United to sign Atletico Madrid star Joao Felix in January, Spanish publication AS claim today's edition, page 12. The Gunners are currently without Gabriel Jesus for around 3 months following his knee surgery, and this could force them to pursue a new forward next month. The likes of Memphis Depay and Mehdi Taremi have been linked in recent days, and the Sport report that the club are now in contention to land Felix from Atletico Madrid. The Portuguese has fallen out of favour under manager Diego Simeone this term, and he is determined to pursue a fresh challenge at the beginning of the new year. Manchester United and Paris Saint-Germain are the main suitors for the player, but it's now claimed that Mikel Arteta's Arsenal have entered the race with force. Atletico Madrid are currently holding out for £86 million to part ways with Felix. Felix joined Atletico from Benfica for £113 million 3 years ago. The 23-year-old was touted as the next big thing from Portugal, but he has not lived up to the high expectations. In his 129 appearances for the Spanish Giants, he has managed only 51 goal contributions. A lot more is expected from a player who cost a staggering fee as a teenager. In our view, it does not appear worthwhile to spend £86 million on Felix. The Portuguese has struggled for consistency. There are no assurances that his fortunes will change at Arsenal. One possible solution for the Gunners could be to sign him on loan with a buy clause. This would be a risk-free investment for the club. Felix would have the chance to prove his credentials. United and Paris Saint-Germain could also make similar proposals in January. It's highly unlikely that any club would be willing to meet the transfer demands of Atletico next month. Arsenal back in for Mehdi Taremi after Jesus' injury blow. Arsenal have revived their interest in signing Porto striker Mehdi Taremi in January following the long-term injury sustained by Gabriel Jesus. Portuguese outlet O Jogo claimed the Gunners recently suffered a big blow with Jesus undergoing a surgery for a knee injury. The Brazilian is likely to be sidelined for around 3 months, and this could force the club to pursue a new striker. The onus could be on landing a new low-cost replacement, and O Jogo cited that the Gunners have renewed their pursuit of Taremi. However, a transfer may not be straightforward, with Porto reluctant to lose him. The Iranian will enter the final 18 months of his contract in January. It is claimed that a mid-season transfer would only be considered if the 30-year-old refuses to put pen to paper on a new long-term deal. Taremi has been a key player for Porto over the past few years. This season alone, the striker has registered 13 goals and 8 assists from 20 appearances across all competitions. He does not possess the same mobility as Jesus in the final third, but has caught the eye with his strong hold-up play, good finishing as well as the ability to make key passes. In short, he has some traits similar to former striker Olivier Giroud. In Jesus' absence, Mikel Arteta may prefer Edin Kata up front, but Taremi could be a solid competitor. He would offer something different for the Gunners of the bench with his strong aerial presence. Taremi is currently valued at 20 million euros by transfer market. He would prove a good piece of business for the Gunners in January without taking a large chunk of their transfer budget. Arsenal told to pay club record fee to lend Gonzalo Ramos. Benfica president Rui Costa has insisted that World Cup star Gonzalo Ramos will not be sold unless his release clause is met. Ramos is said to be attracting admiring glances from a number of English sides as well as Manchester United. Ramos has been linked this weekend with a move to Arsenal. Ramos was also linked with a move to Newcastle United in the summer as well. While a hat-trick in the World Cup has drawn even more attention to Ramos, former Portugal star and now Benfica chief Costa has said that unless his clause is met, Ramos will not be going. Costa said to 90 Minutes the following: "We have the sole objective of having a winning season. No player will leave unless it's due to the clause, which at this moment is fundamental for the squad. What I can promise our supporters is what I did at the beginning of the year. This is a sporting project, not a financial one. Fortunately, we are not experiencing financial problems and we have no need to sell players." 90 Minutes claims that reports from Portugal suggest Ramos' release clause is over £100 million. Naturally, that sort of figure will be enough to put off most clubs as it stands right now. Arsenal's club record buy is Nicolas Pepe at around £72 million, which means Ramos, as of now, will cost some £30 million, more than that. Gonzalo Ramos for £100 million plus is ridiculous for Arsenal. Well, it is for the buying club. For Benfica, you can't blame them for asking for such money, and at the end of the day, that's why they put these big release clauses in contract. For Arsenal, this one looks a no-starter if this is Benfica's stance on Ramos. Over £100 million is ridiculous money, even for a proven player. Never mind, a young striker with a lot to improve on. Ramos rightly made headlines in Qatar, but he was woeful against Morocco, and that on its own will put certain clubs off. Mykhaylo Mudryk won't come cheap. Shakhtar Donetsk director Dario Serna has claimed that forward Mykhaylo Mudryk will not be sold cheaply as a number of clubs are linked with his signature, including Premier League leaders Arsenal. The Gunners are expected to enter into the transfer window when the winter window reopens in January, with the club having failed to replace Nicolas Pepe before the summer window slammed shut, and one name who continues to pop up is Modric. The Ukrainian's performances for both club and country have been causing quite the stir, with his Champions League outings having made a big impression, and he is believed to be in the watchful eye of a number of big European sides, but it's our club who are most strongly being linked at present. A deal to bring him to the Emirates could well go against our successful transfer policy in recent seasons. However, with Shakhtar claiming to be standing firm on a high valuation for their winger, Serna told Marca the following: "Who wants to sign Modric has to pay a big amount of money, otherwise our president will not sell him. Jack Grealish was sold for more than £100 million, and Modric's level is not lower. As much as we may well be interested in his signature, I don't believe there is any chance that we would be willing to pay £100 million to sign him, and feel as though we would struggle to agree to break our current transfer record on him, given his more potential than proven at present. His age and ability does match our transfer policy, however, and he could be considered a special signing who could aid our push to win the Premier League title this term, but I am struggling to imagine that we will make this happen, however." I will be uploading daily Arsenal news show, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.